What's going on, YouTube? It's Q back here again with another video for you. In today's video, I'm here to discuss a problem I got with my 2024 ND3 Miata Grand Touring trim. This Miata, I never would imagine it, but it is just too damn good. I know I've driven a plethora of cars, ton of cars, great cars, awesome cars, my dream cars, but this Miata is something else. Now, this is a car that I believe to be truly special. So, Mazda, they came out with the ND3. This car is kind of long in the tooth. The ND1 came out around 2016, ND2 around 2019, 2024 ND3. And they just keep on making this car better. How you doing that, Mazda? How is that even possible? So this year, I finally added press cars to my reviews. But owning the Miata, this is the only car that I really want to drive. No offense to the WRX. I love that car too, but this Miata is the one. This is the most fun car I've ever had. And I haven't scheduled a press car in so long. Like, I want to get other cars on the channel, but I got to have fun with my own cars. I only got about 2,500 miles on this car, and I had it since April. But I got to get some more driving in because this is just too fun. Actually, let me know what kind of tires y'all running for the winter setup. I'm going to drive it in the snow and everything, so I'm thinking about getting some Blizzaks or something that I always get on my winter tires. So y'all let me know what should I get, or a great all season, but I think I want a dedicated winter tires to put on these wheels. So y'all know that I adore and love the Camaro and my BMW M2. When I had a list of my favorite, most fun cars to drive, number one was the BMW M2, and number two was my GR Corolla. I think my Camaro was number three, the SS1LE. The SS1LE slice is not as fun as my M2, but I lump the Camaros in together with the ZL1 and the SS1LE. But that Camaro was my car. Every sports car I get, I look at the Camaro as the benchmark. But Miata, I gotta put this car in that same, actually it's GOAT status. This car is the Michael Jordan of cars, in my opinion. You know it doesn't have the horsepower, don't even start with that. But everything else about this car, how it drives, how it looks, how it feels, the interior is actually really good. The sound system, great. It's a convertible, it's efficient. What can this car not do? And it doesn't fail at any category. I'm not going to win a drag race. I know it's not the fastest in the straight line, but I can carry all that momentum into a curve. And let me tell you why. So this is where I got to give props to Mazda. The initial NA Miata was about 2,300 pounds. This ND, 30 years later, is still about 2,300 pounds. How are they able to do that? Because we all know safety standards have vastly increased. They were able to keep the weight within the first generation, and that's insane to me. Technological marvel. The only car that you can get that's this light is like a Lotus Exige, and they don't even make those anymore, so this is like the lightest car on the market for $30,000. And then the closest competitor would be something like a BRZ or a GR86, and that car weighs 500 more pounds. You gotta give Mazda props for their engineering. So I said it before, it's easy to throw more horsepower at a car. It is very difficult to make a lightweight car. So as an engineer myself, I know these things to be true. You don't even have to be an engineer to know that, but to make a car lightweight is much more difficult than to add more horsepower, especially when we got turbos and everything. Now you just crank up the boost, make the turbos more efficient, hybridize things. This Miata is still so great of a car. This is amazing and it's mind-boggling. I wish they made a four-door version so I could just have a one-car solution, but this car is just so good. And as fun as it is to drive, it's actually comfortable up in here. It is tiny. This is a small car. You didn't forget that, did you? You will not let me forget that this car is low on horsepower and it's also tiny. We know that. That's how we got the weight light. But the materials in here is great. I can't speak on sound, and I got the soft top, so we do hear road noise and wind noise, but this is actually quieter than the club version. The RF will be a little bit more quieter with the top up. But the steering wheel, this car is not perfect. I replaced my steering wheel and I replaced the gear shift knob in here. Shout out to Jeff that helped me out with this shift knob and the stubby antenna, this armrest. This car is not perfect. This car is a total package. And I'm gonna say it's the Michael Jordan. It is very good at what it does. And that's just being a fun car. It's not too serious. It can be really serious if you modify it. But out the box, they kind of make it to where you want to do. Like, if it could be a daily driver, the suspension is very compliant with rough roads. I'm in Michigan, these roads are terrible. But you can also make it a track weapon. I got smoked in my GT350 at a track by an NC Miata. How embarrassing to spend $60-some thousand and you get smoked by somebody's third or fourth car. That was crazy. He did have more skill, but that car itself, it carries the momentum, and I'm gonna have to demonstrate that right now. About to go on a brief little drive so I can show y'all how good this car is. Don't make no sense how good this car is. Excellent vehicle. So if you haven't driven one of these, please go and try one of these. If you haven't, it's just that good. To get my #1 most fun car to drive out of every car driven. And another car that I don't own that I think is the best car overall, most fun, is actually the BMW M2 CS. That car was very special, but this car has everything right, every driver input. The steering is on the light side. This steering wheel that I added in the aftermarket, which is also huge. If you want to fix anything on this car, aftermarket is huge, and the parts are generally cheap. The exhaust I got on here adds character. Even got a little backfire, well, not backfires, but burbles in it. We got this shift knob. So this shift knob
Watch
is
out. Object on road ahead.
Those are people, not objects. I guess people can be objects, but the shift knob adds to the shifting experience. It's even shorter than what it was. Look at it, a nub, but it's such a good shifter. That transformed the car. Man, what else can I do? If you want more power, if you power junk, they got superchargers for here. But let's get on the highway. I get to roll through the gears. A lot of cars I cannot roll through the gears on, and that adds to the excitement. The gearing on here is low enough. I wish the gearing was even shorter so I can roll even more. Getting on the highway is windy out here. It might be a tad bit loud than what it normally is, and it has a little bit of roll to it, but I'm okay with it. I might get the sway bars. I was torn between lowering springs, coilovers. I think I might start off with the sway bars. They're a pain to install, but I ain't doing it. I'm paying somebody else. So how? I got something for you to do. And these seats, if I had to do it all over again, like I was torn between the RF and the Grand Touring soft top. Actually, this was the first one I saw, so I didn't really spend that much time figuring out which one I want. But the RF feels even more sporty. The suspension is a little bit more firm. It's dampened more firmly than the GT. But that car, the RF, I like that one a lot. I like it in Soul Red. Shout out to Gibson. I keep telling y'all to subscribe to his channel, and you didn't do it, so shame on you. So I'm gonna tell you again, and I'm gonna link him in the description. He makes awesome Miata content. He's got the RF and the color that I do want if I were to get an RF. Shifter's amazing. Responsive throttle. And this is a car you can learn and grow it. If you're a beginner and want to take driving more serious, this car will be the ticket. Makes some nice noises too. Fantastic. And the best part about all of this, normally cars that are this good have some drawbacks to it. They're either unreliable or cost a fortune. This car is reliable and very inexpensive. It's like 15 grand cheaper than the average transaction price. You can get one starting at about $31,000 with the sport trim, 31, I forget, whatever, it's the same thing. Or you can get the club trim, which is the sweet spot for many people. But me, I like the luxurious features that, well, it's not that luxurious, but it's got some nice creature comforts in the GT that I do like. Maybe a GT-RF would have been the ticket. I don't know. I'm still happy with this. The top-down experience is something else. I would do that, but it's like 40-something degrees outside today. I'm in Michigan, man. It's going to be 70-something tomorrow. So it's crazy weather here. And it's efficient. Consumables, very cheap. I'm averaging like 29 miles per gallon on most tanks. And I haven't even taken this on a road trip yet. That's got to be 30 something. Watch me pass this Honda, this TSX. I'm that deal, boy. Gotta watch these summers when it's cold out. And then the brakes could use an upgrade as well. That's something I can look forward to if I want to take tracking seriously. I think I'm gonna just upgrade them anyway. Got a high red line. A lot of cars don't rev out. That's where all the added character comes for me. Being able to rev a car out the red line. It's like 7,300 RPM red line. That is exciting. And the power is adequate. You can do donuts and stuff in here. Like, this car is not too slow where it gets in its own way. 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. That is solid for a car with only 181 horsepower. And this car is a featherweight. Keep that in mind. So that's my problem with this car. It is just too good. I cannot think of many, if any, negatives. And if there are negatives, aftermarket. And it's rather inexpensive. I kind of splurged on the steering wheel. This thing was about a bando, but that's $1,000. So it's nice. It's thick, very thick. The other steering wheel was too thin to my liking, but this fixes that. And the car, every driving input is awesome on here. And the transmission is linked, or the gearbox is linked straight up to the transmission. That's why you see all this shaking in here. I don't even know what that means. That's what people been telling me. So I guess that's cool. I like seeing, well, it kind of scares me, like, dang, that thing gonna jump out of gear. But that's just how it is. Never miss a gear. People always say Honda has the best shifters. You got to add that Miata into that conversation, because I actually prefer the shifter in the Miata over my Integra Type S that I did have. If this is news to you, go ahead and unsubscribe. See you later when I get another Honda in the future. If I do, it's going to be a classic if I do, not no new one. Woo! Man. Pure joy, pure fun. That's why I'm going to drive this car any day that I can. This has got to be the car that I'm going to just go to all the time as I make this light. I ain't about to miss that. Woo! And then we're not even slow off the line. We're about to beat this 40 kind of line, because we got all them powers. What's the torque on this car? Like 150 something? But we rev out. It's fun. Car kind of reminds me, like, the way it revs out. This is what I wish I could have done in my GT350. Rev it out and still be within safe speeds for public roads, because this is exciting. This is like, do I want to say your poor man's GT3? You can buy like 10 of these for the price of a GT3, and that is amazing. And I drove this compared to a Cayman. I prefer the Miata over a Cayman, albeit it was a 4-cylinder Cayman, which was much faster, more refined of a car. But this is just more fun no matter how you slice it. It's just the more fun car. And that's all I got to say about that. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully I brought something insightful to you, a different perspective on this Miata, my problematic Miata. It's just so good. Perfection. Mwah. Gotta love this car. And if you haven't driven one, like I said, go see your nearest Mazda dealership and go check them out, because everybody's saying it. And I just saw a post from Jason Kamisma. He was saying this is like the best car, a most fun car. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Or I wholeheartedly agree with it. Thinking about school, my bad. But this is it, man. No matter the price point, you cannot get any more fun, especially in this day and age. Cars have gotten so many electronic nannies, but this car is still, it's stuck to the same recipe. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm gonna let y'all go, and don't forget to drive safe out there. Whoops, camera then shifted over. I'm getting some radical G-forces out there. So y'all drive safe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.